heels are easy.
All right, guys, I want you to start learning this by doing a nollie half cab. Hit the nose and turn your hips and your shoulders. Start by doing just a pivot or a tic-tac and hit the nose when you come around. Boom. Remember, it doesn't have to be really gnarly. It's about the motion, not the actual trick. Now we're going to talk about 2 different types of nollie shoves. This is the first one where you throw it and just hop. Front foot in the pocket. Little scoop, little throw, little hop. Don't worry about making the nose hit the ground and don't worry about popping. All right, this is the setup for the second type of nollie shove it. In this version, the only thing that matters is that the nose hits the ground and everything else will be the exact same. Now you just have to make sure you lift your back knee up high enough that the nose strikes the ground. The nose has to strike the ground. This is very important. This is so important. And you will see why as we move towards nollie inwards. For now, just lift your back knee straight up and get that nose to pop. If you're whiffing it, and by whiffing it, I mean your nose is not hitting the ground, wait until your knee is a little higher. Wait, just a fraction of a second longer and let that nose hit the ground. Now I'm going to talk about something called opposite footing. So think about where your feet would be for a nollie varial flip. That's opposite footing. Your feet are on opposite sides of the board. So now we switch. So now you're opposite footing, but the other way. All right, so the 2 left balls of your front foot will be on the heel side pocket of the nose, and you can inch it forward towards the top of the nose for personal preference. And the balls of your back feet will be hanging off the edge of the board with your back foot angled slightly towards the nose. Okay, now listen, I know it doesn't make sense, and it might feel a little awkward, but trust and believe, placing your feet like this is one of the keys. You will have a stellar nollie inward heel if you follow these instructions. And that's because this is a trick that's performed by generating torque because it's flipping in the same direction that it's rotating. So a standard pop or scoop and flick is not going to cut it. Next step, get hyped up. Out here looking like Nate Diaz. And this nollie inward heel's been talking mad shit. This also has the added benefit of making sure nobody talks to you so you can focus on your trick, and you might even get the whole part to yourself. Okay, the last step is throwing the trick. Don't worry about landing, just get the trick off. Pop the nose like we did in the second version of the pop shove it. You know, the one where you pick up your back knee and pop the nose. I told you it was coming back. And throw that back leg out diagonally. This last step is the same as throwing it, where your front foot does a nollie pop shove it, and the back foot kicks out downwards diagonally as you jump, just later each time. And I'm talking fractions of a second difference. So see here how I get the pop off the nose perfectly like in the shove-its we practiced, but my back foot doesn't even make contact with the board on the way out. So now we're going to try throwing the back leg and flicking the back heel out a little bit later, but you see we still missed it. Okay, so now we're going to try again, flicking just a little bit later. Notice that my back foot releasing too early cuts off the energy of my front foot, pushing the nose down off the ground. That's why you don't see the board going as vertical as you'd expect it, but rather it gets forced around too far off the y-axis, and it rotates more flat than vertical. So I have to try to create some hang time up in the air, guess where the board's gonna land, and put my feet on it. And you see what kind of sketchy roll away that makes for. Okay, baby boo bears. We're almost there. We're gonna pop the nose like we practiced on those shove-its a million times, and we're gonna hit that back foot out a little later. And you see we got it close, but not quite there. We still had to tic-tac. So now we're gonna pop that nose and flick that back foot out a little later. And I have a feeling that this one's gonna be the one. And it's perfectly righteous, my dudes. You see, young Padawans, this trick is all about the timing between that front foot popping and that back foot kicking out. You get that right, and it's yours. Once you get cozy, you can hit the nollie big inward heel. And my personal favorite, the nollie inward heel rewind. Remember guys, with practice, you can land any trick. Just keep visualizing, keep trying, and never quit.